into our first series of the broadcast. Let's go. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Pylon, we have the Peruvian Terran player, the purple Terran representing Exeritus Esports. It is Tavo. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss player, the red Protoss. He's back after over a year of being retired or being on a hiatus. It is sOs. And if you're in the chat, predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we do get our gamba going. And welcome one all to Pylon. I did explain earlier that, yeah, Pylon, a map that I have not seen in quite some time. Again, Pylon is one of the new TLMC 20 maps, but when it comes to a lot of the online tournaments, they did not actually feature Pylon, whether it's ourselves, WarDTV Mondays, PiGosaur Mondays, or Monday Night Weeklies. So I'm happy to see Pylon once again. It does have some more unique features. It is one of the larger maps in the TLMC 20 map pool. Is a larger map. It does have these narrow bridges in the center, which can make some of the engagements a little bit more awkward. The rush distance by ground is very direct. It's longer, but it's very, very direct here, so we'll see if that comes into play in this matchup. Maybe a little bit less so, but we'll see. We shall see as we are settling in to our TVP. Again, coming into this, I'm not too certain as to the form that sOs is going to be in. Again, it's been quite some time since he has competed. He was enjoying himself during the veto process, I'll say that. But here we go. It is going to be a Rax Expand economic opener out of Tavo. He does open up with a single gas geyser, so we're going to be settling into our natural. sOs being as annoying as possible does force one SV off the mineral line, and Tavo, we could just throw down the CC off center, but no, he refuses, and that means that it is going to be late. That's going to be a 500 minerals CC instead of 400. Most Terran players would just throw it down off center and off location because you can just lift and land. Tavo, he refused and did get on location, but a little bit later. At least it was able to get it. At least there was no pylon block, right? A pylon block would have been disastrous, especially if it was already waiting to throw it down and if it was already being delayed. Tavo does move out, and back at home, sOs setting up and getting to his own opener. Again, because the map is so large, we might see some proxies come into play. I say that there is no probe out on the map. Reaper does move out. Pokes in, does pull away. Back at home, going to be a Twilight Counter opener out of sOs. Opening up what should be Blink, but again, sOs has been out of the meta for quite some time, so we'll see if he doesn't break Blink or if he does go for his own quirky build. Potentially Charge, Glaive, something crazy. We're expecting Blink though. As sOs does move out across the map to delay the CC. The command center looks like it will finish in time. And he does come into the shade. Nicely done here by Tavo. Does escape, does jump into the bunker. He avoids the depth. Now, mining is going to be denied here behind the mineral line, but eventually we will have enough to fend this off. Hellions on the way. Marines are amassing. And this will be dealt with eventually, but it's all about buying time. It's all about just buying time and delaying mining here for as long as possible. Back at home, Blink is on the way, so standard opener here out of sOs, going 2-gate Blink. Nothing crazy. We'll see if he goes up to 3 or 4 gateways. On a larger map, I would say that going to a faster third base is more, is a little bit more viable, is more accessible. So we could see an economic build out of sOs instead. For now, going for his Robo before expansion, and oh. We'll keep an eye on him. Meanwhile, Tavo, he regains control of his natural. Back to mining, back to saturation. Again, Tavo didn't lose any SCV, so a strong start here out of Tavo. Likewise, moving out with what looks to be the early Hellion drop. Hellion's moving out. Okay, going for the Marine drop instead. Marines, they do fan out towards the left-hand side. Hellion's on the right. It is an economic build, by the way, so 2-gate Blink into a third base here from sOs, so very greedy, very economic. Again, on a larger map, this does make a lot more sense to go for a more macro build. Tavo, he will confirm. Drop into the main. Stalkers are in between the bases. Blink is still not yet done. And the goal here is for a distraction. Either we distract the Stalkers with one, and then go in with the Hellions into the natural. Yet to pull the trigger though. We're still holding on to those Hellions. sOs getting in position. We do have a charge-based follow-up. Now, if this was a standard player or someone who was in the meta, we would assume charge alongside Forge and +1. I'm sure we're getting there. No Forge yet out of sOs. Sork is able down, they clean up the drop. Tavo, he will lose everything here. He should barely escape with the medevac. Likewise, Hellions, they dive into the mineral line, they get a couple of pro kills. 2 Hellions, they 2 shots. So far, getting 3, getting up, getting 4. It's okay, I'm getting up to 5, okay. Getting up to 5 worker kills for 3 Hellions, not a bad trade. Does get some damage, but SOS has now gained map control. So he's moving out, gateway explosion behind this, going into a bay, working towards Colossus. So delayed upgrades here out of SOS, but for the most part he's taking up in a standard direction here, going into charge, stalkers, into Colossus production. Back at home, Tavo, he is contained. So far he's getting ready for the counterattack. We are pretty well fortified here at the natural. The main base is a little bit more exposed, but we do have the tank in position nonetheless. SOS, we're going to find a way into the main. He pokes in, he sees the tank. He's going for the blink. Going for the dive. Tavo out of position. Tank is going to go down. Massive pickup. Again, Tavo just wasn't in position. He wasn't expecting this. Oh, and this is getting out of hand. Add-on's going to be going down. Stim is going to be saved. So thankfully doesn't lose Stim. Tavo, he will hold. And Tavo, he is stuck at home until Stim finishes. Basically, until these upgrades kick in, he will be contained on 2 bases. Once they finish, then he can break out and take a third. Speaking of a third base, third CC is almost done. So Tavo, he is expanding. He's not going for a 2-base all-in. Again, in general, 2-base all-ins will be weaker here on Pylon just because of how long it takes to get across the map. So we do expect more mid-game here from our players. And likewise, SOS is just settling in. +1 now on the way. We have Colossus production well on the way as well for SOS. Building up his gateway army. And getting ready for a 4th. Yeah, this is something that we have seen quite recently in the meta as of the past couple of months. I say a couple of months ever since I want to say the latest patch back in October, November, December of last year, is this rise in this more quote-unquote swarm toss style. It's been around for a while, but now it's definitely gained a little more popularity. Basically, especially on larger maps, it is a little more common. I think Amygdala is a good example of this, where the Terran player is contained and it takes a long time for them to get a 3rd base and to get a 4th base. While that's happening, it's on the Protoss to mass expand. To mass expand, get a 4th, get a 5th, get a 6th expansion, and be able to max out with a very cheap army, with a very gateway heavy composition instead, and trade, and just trade and contain the Terran and just outproduce them. Overwhelm them. It happened last night. If you were here watching Hero versus Clem, Hero did 3-0 Clem, like with that style. Again, it's become quite common, or quite more common and quite more popular over the past couple of months. And SOS is moving in, and again, the goal here is to delay the 3rd. Disruptors on the way. 3rd base is going to be denied. As I say denied, it may even just go down. The CC taking a lot of hits, and it will get away, thankfully. Does get out of range. Behind this, drop into the main. Picking up a couple of key units. Trading with the Stalkers, but is going to be cleaned up. And SOS, he doesn't need to try to push into this. There's a minefield waiting for him, but there's only a couple of tanks. There's not actually that much here to defend. Technically, SOS could break this location. Otherwise, he can just chill, expand, take another base. Take another expansion here. Get another Nexus. So that's what he has arrived with his disruptors. First never going to be going up. Up. Goes off. Catches a couple of Widow Mines. Not bad. And again, SOS, he doesn't have to push into this. Just calm down. Play it slow. Tavo, he has to pull the boys. Moving into 2 Colossus. Nice disable on the Colossus though. So they are disabled, but Lass is just so much on the ground. The charge as the Stalkers Nova goes off. A brutal connection. And SOS, he has done. He overwhelms Tavo. Tavo, he just cannot expand. He cannot break out. He is contained. And with that, he has been broken. GG gets called, and SOS, he will take game number 1. GG. GG, well played. Again, SOS taking full advantage of the map itself. Again, on these larger maps, especially in modern or in the modern map pool, maps like Amygdala, maps like Abyssal Reef, Nearby the Square, King's Cove. With these larger maps, it is a little bit more viable here to gain map control early on, to contain the Terran player, to just mass expand behind it, to rely quite heavily on mass charge dot reinforcements, mass stalker reinforcements as well, and make it so difficult for the Terran to expand. GG. GG, well played. Up next, we do have another larger map. Okay, up next is going to be Maganatha. So Maganatha is one of the other macro maps in the TLMC 20 map pool. Is very large. I would say has a very exposed fourth base. The third is relatively defendable. There is a ramp coming into the third base, but I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm talking about a third. We'll see if Tavo can even get a third base, right? We saw how much difficulties he had here in game 1. We could see something similar coming into game 2. We'll see. We shall see. As we are getting into that next game. Hope we see more people come back. I'm pretty sure a lot of people were just waiting for the announcements, right? For EWC to know what the landscape was going to look like. I think a lot of people are waiting to see if Stats comes back, right? Like Stats, he played longer than SOS. Like SOS, he stopped playing last year in February. Stats, he did step away from the game last year in June-ish, like after EWC, right? Like after EWC, Stats, he stepped away. Trap is another one. Trap, he did step away recently, back in like January. Like it's been a while since we've seen Trap compete. So yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of players that were waiting to hear what was going to happen before committing. And SOS is one of those players that now he's back. Now he's here, now he's back. And again, we'll see what kind of form he is in. So far, looking quite good, looking quite modern when it comes to his play. Now we're loading into game number 2. We go. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Maganatha, we have our Peruvian Terran player, the Purple Terran, representing Exeritus Esports. It is Tavo. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Red Protoss, leading the series 1-0. It is SOS. We go. Did SOS go full Gateway Man game 1? Kind of, yeah, kind of. He opened up economically. It was 2-gate blink into a third base out of SOS, into charge into Colossus. Like I would say, pretty standard style nowadays. Like it's very meta. I guess you could argue that Gateway Man is very meta nowadays. True. Successful to harassment. Yeah, it was pretty good. I mean, it didn't kill any SCVs. It was able to delay. I mean, I guess it added up, right? Because we also had the delayed CC as well. True. It was a shaky start from Davito. But welcome one and all to Maganatha. Of course, Maganatha is that much larger map in the TLMC 20 map pool. Referring to the map itself, I was referring to the third base location. So here, the linear third base is a little bit more defendable. I say a little bit, it's still very open. There's a very large ramp coming into the third base. Likewise, we have this avenue of attack in between the third natural and fourth base as well. This is something that we see on Frostline, which can be abused quite hard when it comes to the mid game and when it comes to the aggressing player rotating between the third, between the natural, and between the fourth base. Fourth base is on the low ground. We do have some destructible towers here, and that's really what the map is. Welcome one and all to Maganatha. This is the map with all the rocks, all the towers. We got more rocks. We heard you like towers, so we put towers on your towers. As you can actually destroy the Zonaga tower with this tower, you can knock it down. You can destroy the rocks with towers. You can knock down towers on the rocks to make more rocks. It's obscene. There's towers here that you can knock down to make more rocks. It's just towers and rocks all over the place. On top of that, we have some speed zones on the right hand side to allow for some fun attack paths, or I should say harassment paths, to go around the edges of the map. We have the goal bases as well, which also, you know, is under threat of. I mean, you have to break through the Zelnaga tower to expand. But the map it's a little bit of a meme, but it's, you know, it's fine. It's fun. Let's go. This is a bit of an older feature that we don't see anymore, but we have the double Reaper Cliff into the main as well. quite large actually when it comes to the Reaper Cliff. Quite large. Which can also be used to harass the mineral line of the 4th. True, true. Can be used. Until then is going to be a 2-gate opener into Blink once again. So 2-gate Blink out of SOS. So far the same build that we saw last time. Meanwhile, I was focusing so much on the map itself. Referring to Tavito, we do have our natural being taken. This time a much cleaner natural here, already on location, already being saturated. Bunker is done. We have a 1-1-1 follow-up here in the aftermath. And this time we see that Tavo, he's not going into an abundance of Hellions. Remember, last game he went for a triple Hellion opener, which did get 5 probe kills. This time, no Hellions whatsoever. This time going into the earlier Tech Lab, into Cyclone, into still drop play, but a very different kind of drop, different kind of aggression here from Tavo. Meanwhile, SOS, once again, 2-gate Blink into a Robo, into a 3rd. So it does look like the same build 2 games in a row here from SOS. Very economic, very, I'd say, greedy in a sense as well. Often safer builds do require you to get up to 3 gateways and into extra Stalker Warpins. Reaper Scout is going to be denied, as he does not get in. Oh! Not get into the main. Tavo, he does get eyes on Twilight Council. He is aware of the Blink-based opener at least. And you can see SOS is getting ready here for his 3rd expansion. But it isn't just how many rocks there are, it's also the length of the map. Like the map is just very large, very long. At last, the attack path is also winding instead of the previous map, which is more direct. What I'm getting at is that I can see a world where once again SOS has an easier time defending and then just mass expanding and overwhelming, similar to the previous game. That's typically how things can unfold on these larger maps, but we'll see as Tavo, he has already arrived with 2 Cyclones. Let's go. No shield battery to defend. Remember, only 2 gateways to warp in, so we have limited Stalkers. Catching out the Adept. SOS, he dives in. Oh, he does not get the Medevac. Medevac does pull away. Oh, it's gonna be, oh no, the Cyclone goes down. Yeah, Cyclone falls in the medevac, and with that SOS, he will hold. He will defend. It does come at a cost. A couple of Stalkers did go down, that is true, but there are, what, 5 Marines remaining, and reinforcements are nowhere near this. So Tavo, he's running out of steam. He was able to trade, but no critical damage. Had potential. Did have potential here at the end of the day. Did get 4 Stalkers. 4 Stalkers went down. But SOS, he got away with a 3rd. Like, that's what matters here. Remember, SOS, he did go for a greedy build. He did cut gateway production, so went for a faster 3rd base, now getting fully saturated here. Likewise, behind this, now going for his more delayed gateways into Templar Archives, into Charge. Now, I did just mention something. This is a variation of the build we saw last time. If you remember, last time it was the Bay into Colossus alongside Charge Lots. This time, looking like Storm instead. So SOS, he is adjusting. He is mixing it up. Going into Storm, going into Archons. Likewise, back at home, Tavo, he's looking to secure himself. 3rd TC is on the way, so Tavo, he will be expanding. And this time he should be left alone. This time SOS is not being anywhere near as aggressive. I mean, likewise, because of the map, because of the terrain, because of the double Reaper Cliff as well, it is more difficult for Stalkers to actually get into the main base, so this is not the best map for Blink Stalker aggression, specifically 4-gate Blink. As Tavo is more secure. Is going to be more secure. I mean, his tank does cover the cliff. Storm is on the way. And looks like SOS is just here to scout and move out. To delay a push, to catch a medevac, to contain Tavo. Likewise, Prism getting ready. Ideally, you want to hold off on the Warp Prism until the Terran moves out. Once you spot the move out, then the Prism can move in. So SOS is getting ready for the backstab. Likewise, SOS getting ready for his 4th expansion, just taking another base. Storm is almost done. Speaking of Storm, we do have that Storm drop getting ready. Uh-oh. I mentioned how we're looking for a backstab. We're going for the mineral line. We're oversaturated. Oh! SCVs. Okay, some SCVs do pull away, but that's going to be how many? That's going to be 8, 9 SCV kills. Ay, ay, ay. Storm drop does come in. Stalkers did get caught out. Oh, but another Storm. Getting another SCV. That was 2 Stalkers falling. For 11 SCVs, well worth it here for SOS. Now, thankfully, Tavo, he actually did pull away some workers to long distance mine to Maynard over towards the base just as the drop came in. Otherwise, that could have been disastrous. that was terrifying. Uh-oh. Up! Stim, Pap. He has a stim. Doesn't quite catch it. Raven does go down. Brutal feedback. Tavo does not get the High Templar. Barely not. Meanwhile, we have a flank, and this is a brutal position. Storm from the front, Zealous from the flank. And Tavo kind of push into this. Nice mine connections. Does connect well with the Winter Mines. Storms, they come in once again for another flank. A brutal connection. And Tavo, he escapes with whatever he can with 2 medevacs. Only 2. Brutal losses here for Tavo. This is one of these other features when it comes to being the defending player or trying to be aggressive on this map, is that this position is brutal, just because you can be easily flanked from the right-hand side. From the high ground. Meanwhile, SOS counterattacking, getting into the mineral line. Tavo, he is hurting. He does defend, but losing 9 more SCVs. And SOS now can saturate. He's getting his 4th base up running, getting fully saturated. He can reinforce across the map. Now working towards the Bay, now working towards Colossus. But he might not need them. I don't need them, not anymore. So it's moving in. Catches the Widow Mine. Here comes another Storm drop. Up. Storms A pop up. Just once again, brutal connections. Boys are being pulled. Tavo doing whatever he can to survive here. We have another Storm. Storm pops off. Nice spread here from Tavo. Not the best connection, but the Warpins continue. And the Warpins, they cannot be stopped. As SOS, he will snowball out of control. He will break the defensive line. As 17, 18 SCV kills. And even catching reinforcements. SOS going for the kill, sniping the expansion. Again, a fun storm drop variation here from SOS this time. With delayed Colossus. We actually saw that last night. Also in Hero vs. Clem. True. We did see Clem take a storm drop to the face. Yeah, maybe SOS was watching. Maybe. Oh god, jeez. SOS, calm down, baby, calm down. Getting a little bit too cavalier, but alas, he should still break this regardless. EMP goes off on the Zealous and on the High Templar. Storm in the last remaining army. And with that SOS, he has broken the natural. That will try to make his final stand here at the ramp in the main. He pulls all the boys, Pappy. All the boys are being pulled. 19 SV is going to be going down. And with that SOS, he's just on critical damage here. Even if Tavo holds. And he's not going to. Yeah, he's not going to. It's down to 2 Marauders, down to 1. GG gets called, and SOS will claim the series 2-0, advancing on to the quarterfinals. GG. GG, well played. SOS, he does claim the series, does advance on. Shout out to Tavito though, because again, Tavo, he did play quite well for himself. He was able to hold his own, at least for a time. What I will say is that this map does make it quite difficult to be aggressive, as we saw when Tavo did move out across the map. The flank of the third base was brutal. We've seen that time and time again. Even players like Clem, even players like Bjorn struggling to be aggressive on a map like Maganatha. And SOS having a bit of an easier time getting away with his better economy, right? Faster third base, faster fourth base, faster saturation into snowballing out of control. GG. GG, well played. With that, SOS will claim the series, and we are getting ready for our next matchup. Let's figure out where we are and where we're headed. Exclamation mark B in the chat to have a look at the back of yourselves.